Hi, this is Brett Kepler with TREO Realtors. Today I want to talk to you about the 4 best things that you can do to set yourself up for success when you're trying to sell that rental property that you own. So all of a sudden, with the market picking up, I have a lot of people coming to me and saying, how do I sell this property that I bought several years ago? I have a tenant in there now. Maybe they couldn't sell it when the market went south, but now we're at a time where inventory is super low and they're finally wanting to put it on the market and get rid of this property that never was intended to be an actual rental property for them. So there's 4 things you can do. The first thing is make sure that you sign a lease that allows you to exit the lease when it's the best time to sell. So if you're putting tenants in and they're all leaving around November or December, that's really not great. If you have a lease that renews in the winter, try to sign someone up so that it actually will end in the spring. Because ideally, if it's a property that you own or occupied, it's probably going to sell better during the spring to fall time frame. So that's the first thing you do. The second thing is make sure that you build something into your lease that talks about how you're going to potentially compensate the tenant for allowing showings to take place. There's a lot of times where tenants hate when people just show up, sometimes with very little notice, and want to walk through the property. And what you need is a very happy and compliant tenant to ensure that the home shows really nicely, that the bed is made, that the dishes are cleaned up, or else it's not going to really attract the type of buyer willing to pay top dollar. So the best way to do this is to offer them some form of compensation as long as the showings are progressing well. Now, you don't want to give them a discount on their rent, because then what they're going to do is they're going to take that discount, at the beginning of the month, and if they're not compliant, well, they've already paid you less. So instead, what you want to do is set up a way that you can send them a check back. Maybe it's $100 a month that you'll reimburse them at the end of the month if they've been compliant in allowing showings to take place. So that's the second thing. Now, the third thing that you can do, if for some reason you're unable to get a lease to end in the spring and take it month to month at that point, what you can do is put into the lease some sort of a lease break fee. So if for some reason a buyer comes along and they want to buy the property, if it states in the lease that you're allowed to break that by paying them, say, $1,000 or $1,500 or something of that nature, and providing just a 30-day notice, that's going to be perfect. So that when that buyer comes in, you can basically have the tenant move out whenever it makes sense for you, instead of being bound by that lease. So the very last thing that you can do when it comes to selling your property is to make sure you don't put a ton of money into it while a tenant is still living there. So if you're thinking about upgrading the flooring or repainting, don't do it while the tenant's living there, because there's a good chance that they could come in and screw it up. Wait till the tenant's moving out so it has that fresh, brand new look and feel to it. So those are the 4 best ways to set yourself up for success when you're selling one of your rental properties.